can call me the PDF. This is TV UCC, and I welcome you to the day 3 of the voting exercise, which is organized by the Electoral Commission of University of Cape Coast. This is to interrogate students who have picked forms to contest for positions in the university, particularly student officers. And with this today, the vetting panel will be vetting students who have picked nomination forms to contest for local news positions. And with this, we have local news president, local news commissioner, and the women commissioner, yes, and then the local news secretary. And of course, as we've been doing, in a bit, the panel will start the vetting exercise. But before they do that, I want to take the opportunity to interact with some of the aspirants that we have seen around and some supporters who have joined us in the auditorium. And of course, find out from the panel, at least a member of the panel, what they expect from the nominees today. And I have the privilege to speak with Esther. Esther, join me here. How are you doing?
I'm good.
How do you feel?
From the onset, I really feel things, but I think I'll be okay with it.
Tell us, which position are you aspiring for?
Okay, so I'm aspiring for local Nugs Women's Commissioner.
Have you watched the previous voting?
Oh yes, I've done that.
You've done that? What is your view?
All right, so I realized that at some point in time, some people were courageous, others were tense, and then I thought, since it is our first time meeting the panel, that it will be the outcome. But as time goes on, they did very well in terms of answering their questions, and I think they did their best. And some really prepared before coming.
Okay. How prepared are you?
I am fully prepared.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is there any question that you have particularly prepared on?
Since I'm aspiring for the local Nugs Women's Commissioner, I think I should be well abreast and then have more information about the position I'm aspiring for. So for the position, I've really learned about it.
So any question that will come regarding the position that you're aspiring for, you would be able to deliver on point. That is what you want to make, right?
Sure. I believe I'll be able to do that.
Okay. Is there anything to the panel members?
For the panel, I would only plead with them that to take it very cool on me, because it's not easy. Okay. Because this is our first time being online and then meeting a panel like this, so they should really take it cool on us.
All right. Thank you for speaking with us.
All right. Thank you too.
And we wish you all the best, okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, so she is aspiring to be the Women Commissioner for University of Cape Coast. And the panel members are also here. Let me speak with that one cute lady, of course, very beautiful. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
What's your name?
Jessica Ashite.
Jessica.
Ashite.
Oh, okay. Okay. Jessica, you just heard from SC. She said that you should take it cool on her. What should she expect from you today?
I mean, they should expect us to deliver like we always do. They should just get prepared, that's all. I mean, I'm sure they thought of it before applying the first place. So they should just do, a thorough work. They should be well vested in the issues pertaining to the school, looking for dynamism, innovation, creativity, as well as their leadership ability. So, they should, give us their optimum best. Yeah, that's it.
You mentioned dynamism, leadership, creativity. Which aspects are you looking at?
Virtually everything. The university is training students to be holistic beings who will be fit for not just the nation but internationally. So we are looking up for virtually everything. Holistic people who want to be, leaders and are willing to take up that challenge here as well, to also impact that into other people, because you can't give what you don't have. Yes.
Of course, you can give what you don't have. What is your advice to the students of University of Cape Coast?
Well, they should keep watching TV UCC, and yeah, they should be the number one like we've always been. With all these things going around, telling us that, the university is difficult and everything, you are here because, you qualified. It means you have what it takes to, make it. So put in your best, yeah, that's all, and you will excel, yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for speaking with us. And that is a member of the vetting panel. Let me speak with one of the supporters here. Gentlemen, join me. And of course, this is TV UCC. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please, I would advise that you subscribe to our channel. You hit on the notification icon to get alerts, and also share this for the entire world to get to know what we are doing. In a bit, I would hand over to the chairman. But before that, let me take the opportunity to speak with this gentleman. How are you doing, gentleman?
I'm fine, please.
What do you expect from the aspirants today?
So I expect that when I'm the vets in Oregon, they've really prepared. And they've been watching previous vets and also how they were, some of them were tense, some of them were courageous, some of them were very prepared. They should learn from that. And with the Martin, yeah.
Okay. Now, one can say position if you are there and Kabeko.
Hey, now me position Butuma Jama. I'm the Ankamako president, as a president.
As a president. Really?
Yes.
And which question would you have loved to hear from the panel members?
Why are you here? Why do you want to be there as a president?
Tell us, why would you want to be there as a president?
I want to be because I qualify.
What makes you qualify?
Because of my personality. You can see my dress and everything is prepared.
All right, but does it take dressing to qualify for as a president?
It takes abilities, it takes leadership skills, it takes qualities, it takes academic performances, it takes everything. It takes everything.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anything special that you want to tell students of University of Cape Coast?
Okay, it seems the students are not patronizing the online vetting here because coffee be bring online, and this is a very good chance for us to listen to what they have for us here on the madam. The first nanka, they will be doing the vetting in closed doors. So but TV UCC is here for us. So kindly subscribe to TV UCC. Make a time to watch the vetting, so that in their future also a position where you will learn from them here on the madam. So UCC, make sure you learn from the online vetting.
All right. Thank you very much for speaking with us. We are grateful for your time. I'm fancy. Okay. And so I can see the panel is ready, and so I'm handing over to the chairman of the vetting committee. In a bit, I would come your way with your comment. So keep your comments coming. This is TV UCC. Many thanks for being part of us. Chairman, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, and a good morning to all our viewers. This is day 3 of vetting for SRC local Nugs aspirants for the 2022-2023 academic year. We'll have 2 sessions today. Today we'll be looking exclusively to interviewing aspirants for local Nugs secretary, local Nugs women's commissioners, and then local Nugs president. So we'll have the secretaries come through this morning with the local Nugs women commissioners. And then in the afternoon session, we would interview aspirants for local Nugs president. And so if we're ready, the first aspirant can come in. Thank you.
Of all the electoral processes and proceedings that will take place before voting, and of course even after voting, with regard to the declaration of result. And so if you're new here, then I welcome you to the vetting of SRC and local news aspirant. Today the vetting committee would be vetting students who have picked nomination forms to contest for positions in the local news of University of Cape Coast. The first person has joined us, so I hand over to the chairman.
Good morning. You're welcome. Kindly take your seat.
Thank you. Please, is on front. Okay. Oh, okay.
You're welcome once again.
Thank
Kindly
you.
state your name, index number, and program of study for our records.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Susan Obui, Bachelor of Arts, Level 300, Film Studies, ARFST 190007.
Okay. You're welcome, Susanna.
Thank you.
Is the name Susan or Susanna?
Susan.
Susan, okay, sorry. Good. So, why are you here?
Thank you for the question. Mr. Chair, like I said, my name is Susan, a third-year student with the University of Cape Coast reading film studies. I currently serve as the Faculty of Arts Vice President, and I am goal-oriented and I believe in reforms. That is why I stood up to aspire for the position of the local Nugs Secretary. I'm here to be vetted for the position of the local Nugs Secretary. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, you're welcome.
Hello, Susan.
Hello, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Are you okay? You've had breakfast?
Yes.
All right. So just relax, okay?
Yes,
And
please.
ignore the cameras. You want to drink water, that's fine. You are ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, please.
Okay. So we'll walk through your CV. Did you do it yourself?
Yeah, with the help of my friends. as
Okay. I think your friend did not help you enough.
well.
You
Okay.
should have read through and through again. Because at it stands, we don't even know your age. Because your personal data is not complete. So can you tell us your date of birth?
Thank you. My date of birth is 13th June 1999, 23 years of age.
Okay. So you didn't tell us that we don't have your address, we don't have your phone number, nothing. So your CV is incomplete. So when you go back, you take time to clean it. And then you brought your name as part of the title. Curriculum Vitae Susan Obui. It shouldn't be that way. Your name should be part of your personal data. So there are a lot of CVs online. So when you go back, you want to look at some of those things and redo your CV.
Thank you.
So you said you are experienced and a goal-oriented student servant and administrative worker. Can you explain that to us, please? Your personal summary.
Yes, please.
You wrote that you're experienced and then you're administrative worker and all that. Can you tell us what you were trying to imply?
Thank you for the question. Honorable Chair, I say I'm goal-oriented because if I should set goals to achieve a particular aim, I make sure to attain that. And then I am experienced because I have served as a secretary in the youth experts in my church, which is the Salam Down Assembly, Apostolic Church, Ghana, and also serve as a secretary at Bosch, Achimota branch. So with the experience and that of the vice president of the Faculty of Arts, which I'm still serving. So with the experience, I have experience in the secretarial work, in administrative work, is helping students, like to register their courses, help them with academics. If they have issues, not like personal help, like advise them on what to do.
Okay. Is that what you mean by advancing issues of concern for students? Because in that same section, you have things like you are experiencing advancing issues of concern for students. What do you mean by that?
Okay, thank you for the question. Honorable Chair, with the advancing issues concerning students' welfare, I mean to say that I have interest in helping students, like, to make sure that if they face any problem, I try to help them, give them the right procedure to follow to solve that issue.
So you are yet to advance their course, right?
Still doing.
You are still doing?
Yes.
Okay. You also stated that you are a meticulous, or how did you even put it? Work through meticulous secretarial work. I didn't get that bit. Can you tell me? Because this thing you have presented doesn't show that you are very meticulous. Susan, so how do you do that in your secretarial work? How meticulous are you?
Honorable Chair, when I say meticulous, I'm trying to say that I have, I serve diligently with my work as a secretary.
You went to Methodist Girls Senior High School, correct?
Yes, please.
Okay. Did you take up any position there?
No, please.
Not even a class prefect?
Class prefect, yes.
But you didn't state it. Any other position you held there?
No,
Okay.
please, just the class prefect.
How many years were you a class prefect?
A year.
1 year. You are in Adeshi Hall.
Yes, please.
How long have you been there?
A year.
You are in level
300.
300.
Yes.
And you haven't done anything in the hall. You are not part of any committee or anything.
No, please.
Why is that? Because there's a secretary position in the hall. You didn't go for that. There are other positions at the JCRC level. You didn't go in for that. And then you want to come here. Why is that? Susan, do you understand my question?
Yes,
You don't need to write everything. This is an interview. You have been in school for 3 years.
Yes.
You have just taken up the position of vice president. That was just last semester or last year.
Last year.
Last year. Proud to that. What have you done? You have been an affiliate of Adeshi. Why haven't you taken up anything? Join welfare committee, being a secretary there or something? Why? Why is that?
Please, I have no reason.
You have no reason. Okay. Then you also stated that in November 2018 to August 2019, you were a secretary at Bosch. True?
Yes, please.
Okay. At the same period, you are also a sales rep. How possible? Same month, same year. You were both a secretary and a sales representative. How did you combine the two? Or there is a mistake in what you've written?
No, please. Honorable Chair, please, While serving as the sales representative, we have meetings as to when our boss comes around. So I served as a secretary for that branch, whilst we have other branches and in the main branch as boss as well.
So your position at the time was it a sales representative or a secretary?
It was both.
Were you paid as a secretary or you were paid as a sales rep?
Paid for both.
You were paid for both. That's very lucky. I see. In here, you've written that you plan meetings. You plan agenda for meetings. You write accurate minutes during meetings. That is as a youth secretary at the Apostolic Church. So tell me, what is an agenda?
Thank you very much for the question. Honorable Chair, an agenda is the business that is to be discussed at a meeting.
What about a minute?
A minute is a detailed written document that is taken during a meeting.
Can you please say that again?
Okay. A minute is a detailed information written during a meeting.
So it's rather the proceedings at the meeting. You record the
Yes.
proceedings at the meeting. And should it be written in the past or present tense?
The past.
Okay. So I guess you used to write letters. You used to write letters when you were there because you were the secretary. Did you come across any letters? You didn't write any letter?
No, please.
Did you read any letter?
Yes.
Okay. So when you see a letter and then you see CC beneath it, 2 small C's, and then list of names there, what is that supposed to mean? You see a letter, you are coming in for a secretary, right?
Yes.
You see a letter, and then there is CC beneath it, and you have names of people there. What is that supposed to mean?
Thank you for the question. Please, to my understanding, I believe is the reference to the people, like reference or those that passed the letter.
Okay, so that is not the right answer.
Thank you.
Okay, so the CC and the names there means that the CC is copied to. So it means that those names there, you have copied, they have copies of the original letter. They have copies of the original letter. I may come back to you. There are a few things, but I'll let other panel members know. Just relax. You are too tensed. Just relax, okay? Everything is going to be fine. Just relax. All right. Okay, you said you're a critical thinker. What is critical thinking? You wrote it too.
Yes, please.
So tell me what a critical thinker is.
Honorable Chair, I think a critical thinker is someone who is able to give solutions to complex issues, and take their time to analyze and then give solutions to complex issues.
That's a critical thinker. And you are one. Susan,
please.
you are one. Are you one?
Yes, please.
Because you have it here, so I want to confirm. You are one.
Yes, please.
You.
Susan, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I was actually about asking you the same question Prof just asked you. Have you done critical thinking before?
No, please.
All right, then I'll have to skip my question and ask you another one. So the University of Cape Coast gave the mantleship to a vice chancellor, that is a female, for the very first time. Who is this person?
Please, the question again.
The University of Cape Coast gave the mantleship of the vice chancellor to a female for the very first time. Who is this person?
Please, she's in the person of Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Ajimai.
All right, thank you.
Susan, you said you're a critical thinker, but looking at your transcripts, it seems all the program courses that has to do with philosophical concepts and critical thinking, it seems you didn't do well. Does that mean that you are lying on your CV? Because your transcript doesn't match your CV. Isn't it so?
No, please.
But your transcript says so. So you are lying.
No, please.
Right. As a Nugs secretary, I believe you should know this. If Nugs, National Union of Ghana Students, organizes a woman empowerment program at home, and UCC isn't able to attend because they didn't get the information in time, who would have caused such a mishap?
Please, the question again.
I'm saying that if Nugs, National Union of Ghana Students, should organize a program, a women empowerment program at home, and UCC chapter, local Nugs, isn't able to attend because they didn't get the information in time, who would have caused such a mishap?
Thank you for the question. Please, it could be both ways. It could be we didn't get the message on time, or the secretary did not give the information to the executives.
Which executive?
The secretary.
Which secretary?
The secretary for local Nugs UCC.
No, please. No, please. I think you should have read the Nugs Constitution. It's the National Executive Committee. They are responsible to giving information to affiliate bodies and institutions on which programs they are supposed to attend.
Thank you.
Okay, Susan, if someone approached you at the end of the semester that she cannot go home due to some reason, she wants to stay in residence at the hall, what do you tell the person to do?
Thank you very much for the question. Please, I would advise the student to speak to the JCRC, since they are the executive over there. And then the JCRC would direct the issue to the hall tutor, and they take it from there.
I'm not convinced with your answer. The person can just go to the hall master, seek permission, and then pay the necessary rent that's expected of that person.
Thank you.
Susan.
Yeah. Hi.
I'm here. Okay, so can you name the broad overlapping divisions of University of Cape Coast?
Please, the question again.
Okay, so can you name the broad overlapping divisions of the University of Cape Coast?
Please, is there any way you can put the question in another form? Because I don't understand.
Name the broad overlapping divisions of the University of Cape Coast.
Please, I have no idea.
You have no idea. Okay, so we have the central administration, the academic division, the support services, and the office of the dean of students. These are the broad overlapping divisions. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Susan, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, so my question is, students are not happy about certain policies in the school, and they want to file a petition to the Dean of Students. In order to do it, what percentage of signatories is required for them to get the petition done?
Thank you for the question. Please, my knowledge, I think it's 5%.
Come again.
5%.
Okay.
Madam Susan Obri.
Hi.
You are a holder of Adeshe. Is that correct?
Yes, please.
At a point in time, if you decide to sublet your room to another student, what is the necessary punishment that will be meted out to you if the university finds out that? In accordance with the regulations in the student handbook.
Thank you for the question. Please, I think you'll be rusticated from the hall.
You can't?
You can't do, they sack you from the hall.
Please be emphatic with your answer and stop saying you think. We want answers. So we don't want to hear things like I think, that. So tell us what the answer is directly.
The student will be rusticated.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope you know about the National Union of Ghana Students. Respectively, I want you to tell me the slogan and the motto of Nugs.
Please, the slogan is A luta continua, victory asserta, and the motto is education, a right, not a privilege.
Thank you very much.
Hello. Please, I want to believe that you had a look at the Nugs Constitution. Please, what CC as stipulated in the Nugs Constitution?
Congress. Please, it's Congress.
CC.
Please, I have no idea.
Okay, so CC stands for Central Committee. So the secretary is supposed to communicate proceedings of the Central Committee within S2 component institutions of the Nugs within the stipulated time. Please, can you tell us when this is supposed to be done? The time the secretary is supposed to communicate the proceedings of the Central Committee meetings.
Please, I don't get your question.
The secretary is supposed to communicate proceedings of the Central Committee to component institutions of the Nugs within a stipulated time. Please, can you tell us when the secretary is supposed to do that, the time?
Please, the question is not clear.
Susan, please pay attention. We don't have a lot of time today.
Yes, please.
The question she's asking is, within what time frame is the secretary supposed to communicate to member institutions decisions or outcomes of a meeting?
Please, before the meeting takes place. I'm asking if it's before the meeting takes place.
No, please. Yeah, there's a Central Committee. A meeting has been held. You are supposed to tell them something. You can't tell them the information before the meeting. It's supposed to be after the meeting. So the time frame is what we are asking for over here. Do you have any idea?
No, please.
So it's supposed to be 72 hours. Okay. Okay, so Mrs. Amankwa apparently had a call from the student support unit to giving her the go ahead to take a transfer. at the end of the semester, she ended up having ICs throughout. What do you think could have been the problem?
The problem of her having ICs?
Yes. She received a call from the student support unit giving her the nod to go ahead with the transfer.
She didn't take the exams and quizzes of that semester.
Any other reason?
Because she took the transfer.
I mean, she can take a transfer. She's permitted to do that.
Please, the only reason she didn't take the quizzes and the exams.
Okay, so we are supposed to make sure, I mean, for educative purposes, you are supposed to make sure that you get a written document giving you the go-ahead to take that particular transfer. You can't, I mean, just tell us that you received a call. There's no evidence showing that what you were given the note to do. That's you're supposed to what? Make sure you get a written document, and also make sure that you don't take any quiz before embarking on that transfer. This can be found in the student handbook, page number 69. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Miss Susan. Yeah. It seems you are a little bit tense. I need to take in some breath for me. Very well. Have you read the SRC Constitution?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay. Do you know the office you are aspiring to take over? It's not established in the Constitution.
No, please.
So then, how did you read it in the first place?
Please, I saw in the student handbook the list of executives that are to lead the students' front.
Very well. Have you ever been in a situation that you were required to make a decision without all fact?
Yes.
So tell me, in such instances in the past, what did you do?
I made a decision based on the facts I have at the moment.
But that was not all of it that was needed.
Yes, please.
So you are trying to tell me that in instances as a local news secretary, when you are to make decisions without all facts, you base on the ones that are available. So let's say 2% out of the 100% is going to be based on to make such decisions. Is that what you're saying?
No, please. That was in the past. I would not do that. I make sure to get all the facts before taking a stand or making a decision.
All right, very well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Susan.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, as part of your office work, you will be undertaking some purchases, buying, okay? Are you with me?
Yeah.
You'll be undertaking some buying activities. You may buy 1 or 2 things for the office, okay? And even for your programs. The university has approved methods of procuring goods and services. Can you take us through about 4 of them?
Thank you for the question. Please, you have to get the list of the items. You get an invoice for the items. You submit to the Dean of Students to approve of the budget.
I'm not asking for the procedure for buying something. I said the methods that you can use to procure goods and services. Okay?
Please, I have no idea.
Okay. So you can either use price quotation, you can either use single sourcing, You can either use restrictive tendering, national competitive tendering, and then international competitive tendering. All these are options available for you, depending on what you are buying and the amount involved, okay?
Thank you very much.
Hello, Susan.
Hello.
There's no section of your CV that mentions interests, but then I'm assuming that you like movies because you read film studies, right?
Yes, please.
All right, so let's start with movies, okay? So there's this movie, okay, that has broken boundaries. And then it has been estimated that it has 1.65 billion hours views in just the very first 28 days. That 1.65 billion views, if you convert it to days, it's close to 69 million days just for streaming. And if you convert it to years, you would end up at 188,000 years. That movie was released by Netflix. What movie is that?
Please, a series or a movie?
Okay, a series.
Squid Game.
All right, that's correct. So let's go to the main issue. There's been tensions between US and then China, and it's all been associated to a visit by one top US official. What I want you to help us with is the name of that official and then the capacity that individual holds.
Please, I have no idea.
Okay, so that individual is Nancy Pelosi, and she's the Speaker for the U.S. House of Representatives. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Susan, yeah. We'll do some quick exercise, okay? I want you to give me two differences between a report and a minute.
Please, a report gives an account of an incident, and a minute gives a detailed information of a meeting or a proceeding. And a report, please, I can only give one.
Thank you. Aposa.
Arise and build.
On campus, where do you fellowship?
Apples, Gary Hobart.
In Aposa?
Yes, please.
But you don't do anything there? You haven't taken any position there?
I have.
What do you do there? What role do you play there?
An usher.
I didn't even write that one. Do you have any hobbies?
Yes, please.
Watching movies?
And cooking.
And cooking. So what food can you cook?
Please, sir.
What is your best food?
Palava sauce and yam.
And yam. Yo. Susan. Susan, what do you want to tell your followers?
Please, I would like to tell them that I have the experience and knowledge to serve as a local Ucc secretary, so they should vote for me if I pass the vetting to become the local Ucc secretary.
All right, thank you very much for coming. You hear from us.
Thank you very much.
So we're still live on TV, UCC, and on ATL 100.5. This is day 3 of the SRC local Nugs vetting for aspirants for 2022-2023 academic year. We just finished with the first nominee for local Nugs secretary. We'll have another nominee for local Nugs secretary in due course.
And you know that whenever I come on your screen, I come with nothing apart from a message. And so I come with a message. And this message is coming from Farouk Media. What at all is she writing? Come on, girl. This is an interaction, no mathematics. And Gifty Coffee, ST for Local News Women Commissioner. Isaac Mensah writes this to us. Pressure the start papa. Hey, and this is from Accra boy. Oh, Susan, my crush. Okay, Accra boy. And Freddie Praise. Show me your friend, and I will show you your CV, Susan. And Helena Ami, Professor Rebecca Deb Mensah. Please, how do you do? And Frank, 1 minute beer, Susan. And this is from Freddie. Ayeka, she they won't cry. Frank Wachi Yadom. It is a new day, and we are back. Greetings to all my people. And this is from Afia. Hey, difference between report and minute crowd. Look at how you are writing. Okay. And so these are some of the few messages that I have been able to select. I don't know whether you would want me to interact with the supporters. Supporters, should I interact with you? My friend, should I engage you in a minute? You are ready for that? I don't want to scare people from coming here. Please, we are transmitting from Sasakawa conference room, and so if you are around, you can join us. Yes, we would do appreciate your time. Let me go back to our platform to see some of the messages that we have received here. Kofi Gashwe, happy belated birthday to Mefili. And this is from Freddie. She finished the vetting too early. Oh, really? Freddie Kingsley Arthur, let her know. And this is also from Freddie. I'm not picking this one. Isaac Mensah, if I pass the... Of course, I am here to keep you company. In no time, the next person will join us. But before that, let me keep reading your messages. Clarence Kwanzaa, Susan, I'll come for you to cook for me, okay? All right. And Captain Kobe Tales. Daniel Ajete, a journey of 1,000 light years begins with a single step. Okay. Isaac Mensah with this one. Sisi and Freddie. Person with the vet somebody self. 1 minute to be right in Sunamu. Isaac Mensah. And then you continue to Susan Ankasa. Bida. Really, Isaac. Clarence Kwanzaa. Where the groundsmen day. We day here. And Kingsley Arthur. We don't determine a person's performance in a quiz or examination and to that of his or her intuitive level. This is an African explanation to intelligence and it is a fallacy. Kingsley, that is what you think, of course. And Augustine Mensah, please, the question again. Freddie, you are saying I'm not convinced. Interesting. Farouk Media. Okay, you come again with what at all is she writing? And all right, people, keep your messages coming. This is TV UCC, And we thank you so much for choosing us. But of course, for us to get to know that you are part of us, I think it worth it to write to us on our platform. But do not keep your thought to yourself. I repeat, send it to us. And people in auditorium, you can also write your message to me, and I would read it accordingly. You can write it on a sheet of paper. Don't worry, I wouldn't take the seat for you. Okay. So we are here. I am here actually to keep you company while we wait for the next person to join us. But okay. So I am picking this from the chairman. Okay. I understand that Hannah Abna Edua, okay, Hannah Abna Ewa, who picked form to contest for the local Nugs secretary, has officially withdrawn, and so we are moving on to the local Nugs Women Commission's office. Students who have picked forms to contest for the position of the local Nugs Women's Commission office. So stay tuned while we engage the aspirant. But you are ready, right? Okay. My brother, help me. Let me move to some of the audience who are here, and of course they are ready to interact with us. Feel free. I believe he will be able to capture us from this place. Okay. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Okay. What's your name and what is your program of study?
My name is Bukari Saleh, level 100 student. I'm doing Bachelor of Arts.
Okay. So what brought you here?
Well, I came here to support ST. I've come to see how she's going to go through the interview. And then she's aspiring for Women's Commissioner, local Nugs. That's why I'm here.
Okay. So let me hear your view on the vetting so far.
Well, I came and met the aspirant who just left, and then through observation, I see that she was doing well. Tension is something that goes in every aspirant so far as they are standing in front of the panel. It's an innate something. There are some few exceptions that naturally they are very confident that when they are facing a panel, they go through successfully and they try to be creative. Others are there, or the majority, they face the panel and then they find it very difficult to create or maybe to give response accordingly. And sometimes you see that in most occasions I've heard the panel, members of the panel telling her she's tense, she's tense, she's tense. It's natural. It's bound to happen because facing people you've never faced before, sometimes you have to go through tension.
Great. Do you intend to take any position in the university before you complete?
Well, for now I've no plans, but if the chance avails itself, I will.
Well, which of the positions?
As I said earlier, no decision yet, but if the chance avails itself, I will. Yes, please.
Thank you very much for speaking with us. And no, I see the lady shaking her. And then they keep I should. Okay, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Which program are you studying?
Become Procurement and Supply Chain Management.
All right, what's your name?
Beshiba Aite.
Beshiba?
Yes, please.
Is that not the mother of Solomon?
Yes, please.
The woman David took from the military man, oh?
Yes, but I'm not the one. That is in the Bible. That is in the Bible. I'm not the one.
Oh, okay. So you don't know any David?
Yes.
All right. So what brought you here?
I came to support Susan, but she's done with everything.
Susan? Oh, okay.
Secretary, the local Nugs secretary aspirant.
Oh, okay. Are you in the same class with her?
No, please. She's my roommate.
Oh, are they say, oh?
Please, we are in the hostel. But she was my roommate in Adeshe.
Okay. She said she likes cooking. Do you also like cooking?
Yes, please.
Which food?
Rice.
Rice.
Jollof rice, sorry. Jollof rice.
She's saying jollof rice with a ponchia.
Yes.
So when should I visit you?
This way I free.
When I'm free, I have the ticket. Let me hear from you. What is your opinion on Susan's performance?
I think she did well, even though during the time they were asking her a question, she was a bit shaky from the beginning. She was a bit shaky, but it was okay.
All right. What is your advice to students of University of Cape Coast? Let me pick this from you finally, and then I move on to the gentleman behind me.
I think they should rally behind Susan and then vote for her. I think she has the capability to.
All right. Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you too.
Okay, but I'll be coming to your room. We'll take your number later, right? Okay. He has already been with me, so I'm picking it from you. How are you doing?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm also fine. Thanks for asking. Let me hear from you. What brought you here?
Here to support ST.
ST. Okay, she is yet to be vetted.
Yes, please.
What do you make out of the vetting, Susan?
She did well, but I'm here to learn. I've learned how to compose a good CV for Madam. The CV must be detailed with your information. So here I've learned a lot from the panels, how to compose a very good CV. So that's what I can say.
In case you were on the panel, what would have been your question to Susan?
They've asked it all. They just asked all the questions they're asking.
They've asked all the questions.
I just have a problem with one question a panel asked. He was, I don't know if it's a personal attack. It was based on the person's transcript. You don't do that. The person is a student. You've been a student before, probably you're a student. So you don't bring the knowledge the person has learned and what the person is learning as a critical thinker. You base it on the person's transcript. It's bad. We don't do that.
Actually, that is what you think. You don't know the reason for which he asked that question. They have criteria that they are basing on to question them. It could be that they are using that to test for the person's temperament. You get it. So you don't necessarily condemn a question, or they have reasons for asking any question that they would ask. And I must inform you that all the questions that they are asking have also been vetted. Is that okay? So you don't make comments. I've seen some people making comments on our platform, of which I have decided not to be picking those questions. Please take note that all the questions that you're asking have been vetted and approved. This time not by FDA. So thank you very much for speaking with us. We wish your candidate all the best. We hope that she passes the vetting. But we're still waiting to see the next person, but I'm here. Oh, is he David? Are you David?
No, please.
What's your name?
Fawcett.
Fawcett, ne? Somebody.
Program mate. We are program mates.
Program mate. No, okay. Have you tasted her jollof rice so far?
No, she hasn't cooked jollof rice. Only yam.
Only yam. Okay. People, the aspirant has joined us. She'll be the first to be vetted for the office of the Women Commissioner. And so stay with us. I am handing over the microphone to the chairman. We'll come again with your messages. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Please, I'm ready.
So kindly state your name, index number, and program of study for our records.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Esther Akwa Benson, level 300, Bachelor of Education, Social Science student. And my index number is EHBSS 190098.
So Esther, you're welcome.
Thank you, Chair.
Tell us why you are here this morning.
All right, thank you, Chair. As I've already introduced myself, my name is Esther Akwa Benson once again, and then I'm here to be vetted for the office of the local Nugs Women's Commissioner. Thank you.
So why do you think we should give you the nod as the Women's Commissioner?
Thank you, Chair. I, Esther Akwa Benson, I'm very passionate about women empowerment, and then I've led on various platforms, and then I've also acquired requisite skills that I believe that is going to help me on this platform. I have served as the current campaign vice president. With this position, they have the vision and the mission in common with the current local Nugs Women's Wing. I've also served as the local Nugs Women's Wing subcommittee member, and then I believe with these experiences gathered from our SHS also, I was the Accra House Prefect for the Ladies Wing, and then I believe with this, I'll be able to take up the mandate as the local Nugs Women's Commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before we go to your CV, I just want to understand what you do as Vice President of Comfort.
All right, thank you so much for the question. So for the Comfort Vice President, I work in hand with my president and the other executives, and then ensure that the welfare of our ladies have been established, and then also we also seek to address all issues concerning our ladies and journey towards to our patron, and then it's been addressed. So for the Vice President, whenever my president is not around, I stand in for her and then be in charge of all activities on campus. Thank you.
So what has been some of the achievements in the period that you've been Vice President?
Thank you, Chair. Since when I took up the mandate as the current Vice President, I was able to notice some of the challenges, that is communication barrier, whenever we go for outreach at various physically impaired students, precisely the hearing impaired. With this, they use sign language as a form of communication. So as the current Vice President of Comfort Ghana UCC, I was able to identify this issue and I was able to speak about it to my president. So with this, we initiated a Comfort Sign Language Club, which will begin its section this coming Saturday, and then it will continue every weekend. Apart from that also, we also realized that our welfare for the Scholars Council was very weak, to the extent that most of individuals who lost their natives, especially the parents, we do not have any means through which we can get support for these people. So under my tenure, we make sure that we are going to make our welfare team very strong, to the extent that we'll be checking up on our scholars, and then whenever there is any situation as member of our organization loses his or her parents, we'll be able to look out for how we are going to help them. Thank you.
Now, on your CV, I see you're a member of the local Nugs Women's Commission Subcommittee. Is that correct?
Yes, please.
So what are some of the activities you've been involved in the last year?
All right. Thank you so much for the question. All right. So as of last year, the local Nugs Women's Wing organized Your Health, Your Life, and then that was held at the beginning of the semester. This was done to help students to be abreast with the abusive of contraceptives. With that, I was a volunteer who helped to go to various halls, and then we were able to cooperate with the personnel around, resource personnel around, to talk about your health, your life. Apart from that also, the Women's Commission, she organized Agripreneur. Through that, we helped her in the organization of the venue, the place, and then we also supported her in the ushering. Thank you.
So that activity talked about abuse of contraceptives among students?
Yes, please.
Okay. Who was the keynote speaker?
Okay, thank you so much for the question. So for the speakers, we couldn't have a key speaker, but we had resource personnel coming from PPAG. And then they collaborated with us to take this session.
So what exactly did they talk about?
Thank you so much. So for that section, the current local news women's commissioner realized that most of the ladies on campus, apart from that also, the gents, do not have information about the use of contraceptive. So we talked about the use of contraceptive, the effect of contraceptive, and then we also gave out the chance for individuals to also ask questions about contraceptives. Thank you.
I see, that's interesting. I'll come back to that later.
Thank you, Chair.
Hello, Esther.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you doing?
Please, I'm good by God's grace.
You haven't drank water yet? Or
I'm
you've
taking
drank
it,
some
please.
already?
Yes, please.
Okay, that's fine. I've been looking at your CV. Why did you decide to have a one-page CV and squeeze everything in there? Why?
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am. I was supposed to have more of consultation, but I was thinking putting all my CV on one page was official, but I stand to be corrected. Thank you.
It's not about it being official, because you left out very important details. Are you a Ghanaian?
Yes, ma'am.
I can't tell from here.
Yes,
How
ma'am.
old are you?
Because I'm 21 years.
I can't tell from here. Do you have an address?
Yes, please.
I don't have it here.
Thank you.
And I keep saying that from here, you people are going to work.
Sure.
And most people are not getting jobs, not because there are no jobs, because a lot of people apply for jobs. So if I look at a CV and it's so bad, I wouldn't even spend time trying to call the person, spending money to have interview for the person, because having interviews is very expensive. So if your CV is bad, I presume that your face is bad, your attitude is bad. And it's your CV that can take you to the interview room. So it's very important that you take time and have a good CV. It is very, very important, and I'll keep hammering that. Very, very, very important.
All right.
You don't have a heading, you don't have a personal details, and you have to do these things. Esther, are we together on that?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for the correction, ma'am.
Okay. Have you done any internships at all?
Yes, please.
But they are not here.
Yes, ma'am.
They are not here. What did you do, and where did you do your internship?
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am. So I did my internship at Akotocho Junior High School. Since I'm a BEd student, I went there to help them in terms of teaching. And then as part of Comfort Ghana, they also provide slots for learner guide facilitators. So I took that platform to be a learner guide facilitator there. Thank you.
Okay. So when was this? Which year?
Please, we started from 2020.
So you've been doing it consistently?
Yes, ma'am.
And that could have enriched your CV. Okay, I can see that you are the Women's Commission. You're a subcommittee committee member.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that not enough? Why do you want to go higher?
All right. Thank you so much for your question. Serving on the local news women's wing as a subcommittee member, I was able to notice how impactful the Women's Commissioner had on most of the students through the programs she organized. So I realized since I have passion in serving, in leadership and women empowerment, I would always aim higher to get a bigger platform through which I can impact on other people and also help them in leadership. Thank you.
When I was in school in '96, the women commissioners were thick tall. When they are coming, you know that this is a women's commissioner. You are very tiny. And you are 21. How can you handle issues, the issues that the women will bring to you?
Thank you so much, Mom. As part of the Women's Wing, their vision is empowerment. And then empowerment, we seek to empower all ladies no matter how they are, their physics or their capabilities. One thing that I believe in, our physics does not show what we can do. It depends on how we can think, how we can lead, and how we can implement our vision and policies. That is why I couldn't consider my physics as hindrance, but I realized what I can do to help the institution. Thank you.
So if a student comes to you and the student is maybe in level 200 and they come to tell you that they are pregnant, they don't know what to do, how would you advise them?
All right. Thank you so much, Mom. For the pregnancy, some are wanted and some are unwanted. For the pregnancy, it might be she might be married or she's not married. At that instant, I would ask her what did she do or what motivated her to do that, or was it planned or wasn't planned. So for instances that is planned, maybe I'll make sure I ask her if her parents are aware or not. Apart from that also, since we have counseling units, should that students can be able to go to this counseling unit and get more advices from them. I believe since I was a student and then she confided in me, that is why she was able to come to me. Likewise, I also direct her to a counseling unit through which they can help her and address the issue. Thank you.
What is IYF? IYF.
Thank you, Ma. So please, IYF is International Youth Fellowship, and then it's a non-governmental and non-denominational organization. Thank you.
Again, it's referees, not reference.
Well noted,
Referees,
ma'am.
you have to take note of that. If your classmates come to tell you that one of the lecturers you fear has sexually harassed her, there's this lecturer that everybody fears, and your friend comes to tell you that this lecturer has sexually harassed her, or even a course mate has sexually harassed her, what would you tell them?
Thank you so much, Mom, for your question. So we know with our noble institution, we have a session through which they address issues like this. I know since the lecturer is having a higher position, and then I can't really do anything about it. So I really direct her to SEGRAD, that is the Center for Gender Research, Advocacy and Documentation. And then I believe with that they can be able to help her too. Thank you.
With your position, I think you have cited a lot of letters. People write, you've seen letters. People write to you, you've read a lot of letters too. As the vice president for MasterCard,
Yes,
you write
please, but
letters.
not often.
Not often, but you've written a letter before. Have you written an official letter before?
Okay, so I'll precisely say no, since mostly it's my president who does that.
But do you read some of those letters?
Some, not all.
Okay. Can you give me some of the ingredients of a letter? If I see, or you see a typical letter, what are some of the things you'd see in a letter from the beginning, please?
All right. Thank you so much for the question. And then mostly for letters, we mostly have the letterhead. We have the address, the title, the title, the introductory paragraph, the body itself that contains the content of what they are going to give to us. And then I think that is all.
After the content, nothing comes.
Okay, so after the content, there is the conclusion.
And how do you conclude? What is the name of that bit? What is the name given to that bit? You started well. Keep the vim coming. Yeah.
Okay. Please, the question again.
Oh, Esther. We were at the final bit.
Sure,
The
sure.
final bit. And you said conclusion. And I said there is a name for it. Do you have an idea? Before the signature, you have something there.
Respectfully, I have no idea.
Oh, Esther. Esther. Okay, so I would come back to you.
Thank you,
I'm enjoying chatting with you. So
Thank
I'll
you,
come
ma'am.
back.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Esther.
Yes, please.
I happen to be a rampant user of contraceptive. What would be your advice for me?
All right. Thank you so much for your question. You've been a rampant user of contraceptive. I would first of all ask you, do you read what is written on the contraceptive when you buy it? And then, what's your view on contraceptive? What knowledge do you have about contraceptive? Some people who are addicted to the usage of contraceptive have fair idea about the usage of contraceptive, and others do not have. So for people who do not have, I would maybe take that chance to be able to give them knowledge about it. And then those who continue to use the contraceptives, I would also ask them why, because some of them are sexually active, and then that would be the only means through which they can be able to protect themselves. Thank you.
You're welcome. So my main question is, in which year and month was the University of Cape Coast ranked by the Times Higher Education the #1 university in Africa for the research influence?
Please, it was in the year 2021.
Month.
Please, January.
I'm sorry, come again. All right. You got the year correct, but the month is in September.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Esther.
Yes, please.
Looking at the courses you've done, I see that you've done map reading and interpretation.
Yes, please.
Using Sam Jonah as a center. Which direction is Amamoma?
Please, it's around northeast.
Do you know that the ocean is on the south?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, as someone who is very active in comfort, I believe you should be passionate about this.
Yes, please.
You are aware that prices of goods and services are going very high.
Yes, please.
Very, very high. And your role as a women's commissioner is to, as stipulated in the SRC Constitution, is to assist in finding solutions to women-related problems. And you know that prices of goods going high, price of sanitary pads are also going high. What do you have to say about that concerning the welfare of students in the university?
All right. So thank you so much for your question. And then, as I got a platform to serve on the local Nugs Women's Wing, the current Women's Commissioner, she's embarking on a sanitary bank. With that, she seeks to provide 10,000 pads to various ladies, not only restricted to University of Cape Coast, but other component schools
have you received yours?
It's an ongoing project, and we've not yet instituted.
How many students of UCC have received theirs?
We are about to start. We just started raising support for it, and then we've not started the sharing yet. And then I also believe that with this, as you got to know that there is a need for us to help women in terms of that. Like also, so in my tenure also, I've also planned that since we have our monthly period, but not a yearly period, which means that individuals would need pad every month. So with that, I believe that if I get a platform to serve as a local Nugs Women's Commissioner, working together with the various hall ladies wing that is spearheaded by the Vice President, we'll be able to have this same pad bank. But with that, the various halls ladies wing, that is the Vice President, is going to be in charge, and then we seek for sponsorship from organizations such as Comfort Ghana, Girls Excellence Movement, so that individuals who do not get access to this pad can get some from the
Currently, you are the Vice President of Comfort, and you've not done anything about it.
Okay, thank you so much. So for Comfort, we have various projects we embark on. We have various outreach we embark on. So with this project and then outreach, every outreach, no matter the content of what we are going to deliver to them, we make sure we give out pads to various students.
Do you know that contraceptives are free in all infirmaries?
Yes, please.
So,
I'm not really sure.
what are your thoughts on those who say that sanitary pads should also be made available in all infirmaries for free at any time?
All right, thank you so much. So I think what I just addressed about if I'm able to get the platform, how I'm going to collaborate with the various whole vice presidents. With that, it wouldn't be sold since we seek for sponsorship from organizations and then individuals. So we'll be able to raise more funds through which we can give out this part. I know that even though most of the ladies complain do not have money for parts, but others also have the money to be able to purchase the parts. So giving this part to the ladies wing, at least through a process or any means we can put there, some ladies will be able to go to the vice president and get in touch with some of these parts for free.
All right.
Esther.
Yes, please.
You said you have been educating the women on contraceptives, right?
Yes, please.
What kind of contraceptives was your talk on?
Okay, so it was on emergency contraceptives.
Why emergency contraceptives?
All right, please. Thank you so much. So from her findings, she realized that most of the ladies or students on campus abuse more of the emergency contraceptives because they do not have fair idea about it. Most of them think that after every sex, you're supposed to take an emergency contraceptives because some of them do not know that there are other means through which we can be able to protect ourselves apart from using the contraceptives. So that is how come we spoke more of the emergency contraceptives. Thank you.
So did you propose other alternatives?
Yes, please.
What were they?
All right, thank you so much. So what we proposed was that we, the ladies, because we are at a disadvantage point whenever we use the emergency contraceptives. So we advise them to track their menstrual cycle since we have free period. And then those free period, if you are sexually active and then you think you cannot abstain, with this free period, you wouldn't get pregnant. And then apart from that also, we also advise them to use more of the condoms rather than going for the emergency contraceptives, because the emergency contraceptive, it's not even advisable to take it more than twice within a year. Thank you.
So why then didn't you advise them on the long-acting contraceptives? Are you aware there are long-acting contraceptives?
Yes, please.
Do you know of any example?
Yes, I know. Okay, yes. And then I know we have the injection. Yes, and then with that, some people wouldn't be able to afford it since some of them are not free. So we wanted the one through which everybody can get access to, or it's going to help everybody, because it's not every time someone would be able to get the funds to do those ones. Thank you.
Okay. When a case of sexual harassment is forwarded to the Sexual Harassment Committee, how many days do they have to sit on it?
All right. Thank you so much for the question. So please, it's no more than 14 days.
Okay.
Thank you.
Esther.
Yes, please.
I'm here.
Okay.
I hope you are familiar with the Nugs Constitution.
Yes, please.
Okay, so please give me 2 powers of Congress.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. Okay, so for the Congress, they have power to choose various delegates for the Central Committee, and then they also have the power to also organize programs and then constitution reviews. I stand to be corrected.
Okay, so I'll take the first two.
Okay.
All right. So in that case, you are right.
Thank you.
Esther?
Yes, please.
How are you?
Please, I'm fine by God's grace.
Okay. How do you intend to solve sexual harassment on campus?
Please, the question again.
How do you intend to solve sexual harassment on campus?
All right. Thank you so much for the question. And then for sexual harassment, we all know that it can't really be stopped, but it can be kept. That is why we are supposed to have persistency in addressing issues like such. And then we'll be also organizing programs where we have personnel coming on board and talking about it. Because I know most of the ladies undergo this, but the boldness and the courage to be able to report is difficult. So we'll be organizing more of programs that is going to address such issues and then also address them about how they can go about it if they find themselves in issues as such. Thank you.
Okay, so Esther, my main question is, in recent times, there has been an observation about increasing number of indecent dressed number of female students on campus. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I want you to tell me what should be the dress code for students, for female students?
All right, thank you so much. So for the students' handbook, students are not supposed to wear slippers for lectures, and then they're not supposed to wear dresses that is going to expose their vital parts or private parts. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Madam Esther Aqua Benson.
Yes, please.
In line with the student's handbook, I want you to explain what stalking is and give me one instance of it.
All right. Thank you so much for the question. Okay. Stalking. Okay, please, can you give me some few minutes? Okay, so for stalking, it is when someone is being blackmailed or threatened. It can be verbal or through gestures, or someone following someone's mail, or even getting to someone's privacy, or even intruding into people's conversation without being invited.
Okay,
and then
so the length and breadth of your answer is that when someone tries to blackmail someone. Okay. Now, Chapter 5 of the 1992 Constitution as amended in 1996, Article 27. Now, the Clause 3 of this particular Constitution stipulates that women shall be given opportunities and promotions, and there will be no sort of impediment attached to these positions and these promotions that they are seeking of. I want you to use this medium to empower ladies who are suffering from sex for grades in various tertiary institutions.
All right. Thank you so much for this opportunity given me. As an aspirant for local women's commissioner, I would always want to use every platform that I get to empower my young ladies. We know that day in and day out, those people who stand their chance for exchanging sex for greed are those who are in a disadvantaged position. That is when your results are not good and then you will seek for a better result. So I would want to use this platform to advise all my young ladies out there that before someone can ask you for sex for greed, that is when you are not having good grades. So as we are all around, we should sit up and learn. Sometimes it's difficult to really learn. I know it's difficult to learn, but persistency and then determination will help us out. And then apart from that, even though people have good grades, as in they did very well in their examination, but some lecturers still insist they offer these things and they offer sex for their grades. And then with this, I would urge them to get the boldness to be able to report to the appropriate section, because some of those lectures that you think you might confide in might also be in the same act, which you might not know. So approaching organizations like SEGRAD or hall counselors would be very good for these people. But in all things, only urging my young ladies to be bold enough in all the decisions that they take. Then they should be determined and then know that the future have better things. Since when you start giving out sex for grades, definitely when you're at the workplace also, you give out sex for job. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Also, for some time now, there has been reports about students feeling shy when going for the sanitary pad. I mean, how do you think this issue can be solved?
All right, please. Thank you so much for the question. As I said, if we are going to various places and then we are going to share the parts them individually, we might not even really know people who really need the parts. And then that is always done once in a year. I know that the women's wing, as in the vice president for the various halls, she serves as a mother to all students in the various halls. So you getting the courage to go to them because they have rooms in which they stay. Various vice presidents have their rooms and I think there is privacy. So at least you can call her to know if she's around. Or apart from that also, we can also talk to other executives and know if there are other ministries which we can help these people out who are not bold enough to go for the part, even though we've sent it to the vice president. Thank you.
You said you talk to other executives to find out if there are other means. So tell us the other means that are likely to come out.
All right. Thank you so much. So for the other means, we can let these young ladies who really need a pad to be able to submit their names, maybe through email or through a professional helpline, and then we'll be able to know their rooms. At least with that, we ourselves, since it's our duty to make sure that the interest of our students will be our priority, we ourselves can be able to go there and deliver it to them. Thank you.
Please, what's the slogan for Nugs?
Thank you so much for the question. So, education, a right, not a privilege.
What's the role of the Women's Commissioner in this particular slogan? What would you play?
All right. Thank you so much. So, as the slogan says, education a right, not a privilege, means that every lady is entitled to education and then there shouldn't be any hindrances. So, most of these ladies are still hindered even though it is their right, due to lack of funding for most of their education. So the local Nugs Women's Commissioner, she is the focal point for all ladies on campus and she addresses all issues concerning women. And then I believe that she's also the link for other NGOs who also seeks to support young ladies. So for this, she can be able to get an NGO or organization who can help her in terms of providing funds for young ladies who are not able to get access to education due to this reason, as in funds for their school. And I believe with this, she can help the Nugs. Thank you.
So I try to tell me that monetary issues is the only thing that can prevent a lady from getting access to education.
Please.
So yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for the question. So apart from the monetary issues too, I know there are academic issues too as well. I know there are individuals who are not able to get access to education because of their academic or intelligence level. And then I believe we can also organize program that is going to help these people out and I believe they can have higher education level. Thank you.
Please, what's the penalty for verbally assaulting an invigilator?
Okay, so respectfully, I have no idea.
Okay, so the person paper will be cancelled and it will be deemed that the person...
I can't hear you well.
The person's examination paper would be cancelled and will be deemed that the person has failed that particular course, and in effect, the person will be rusticated for 2 semesters. This can be found in the Academic Program Policies and Regulation, page number 65. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Before please, supporters and the audience, I forgot to announce my rule. I see some of you making gestures. It is very simple. She will be disqualified if I see that go on again. So please, if you are here, keep your gestures to yourselves. But if I see that you're making gestures at her and trying to point her towards the answers, I will have the singular honor of disqualifying her, and then the process would end. Thank you.
Ms. Esther.
Yes, please.
Going through your CV, I see you are part of the local Nugs Women's Commission subcommittee, right?
Yes, please.
And then I'm tempted to believe that you have gone through the constitution of both the local SRC, which establishes the local Nugs, and that of the national Nugs constitution.
Please, can you come again?
I'm saying that since you are part of such a subcommittee of the SRC, I'm tempted to believe that you've gone through the constitution of the SRC, the local SRC, and that of the national Nugs, their constitution, right?
Okay, so I don't know if I heard you right. You said the SRC subcommittee.
No. I'm just asking, have you gone through respective constitutions?
Please, no.
Good. So you haven't gone through the constitution that establishes your office?
Okay, so for Nugs, I've been able to go through one, but not all.
Okay. So your office, the job, the description is that it caters for or seek the welfare of women, right?
Yes, please.
But in our part of the world, as in this university, we have voting and then men also vote for such office. Don't you think it's an office created to discriminate against men?
All right. Thank you so much for this question. The office seeks to prioritize issues concerning women, but in that, she doesn't only give the platform for only women to also have influence on women. The platform gives the office gives chance to every individual who also seeks to prioritize issues of women. So for the current Nugs, we have a male in our midst. That shows that even though he is a male, but he also have interest in several.
Sorry, for the current Nugs, you have a male. Is he the one? Was he generally voted for or was appointed?
No, I mean a subcommittee member.
A subcommittee member. Like this case is restricted to those that were voted for. We all vote for Women's Commission.
Yes, please.
Men vote, women vote.
Yes,
but
please.
the job description stipulates that it seeks for the welfare of what? Women.
All right. Thank you so much for this question. And then we all know that for Nugs, we have the president, the local Nugs Women's Commissioner, and then the secretary. At the SRC level, I know we have the president and the vice president. And then the vice president serves as the ladies' wing leader. Likewise, with the Nugs, we have the president not having a vice president. So the women's commissioner seeks to address issues concerning ladies, but she doesn't stand there for only ladies.
Not to cut you short.
Okay.
See, with the constitution that established the SRC,
yes, please.
There's no stipulated article or such that says that the vice presidency must be a woman. So there can be instances where we can have a president and a vice all being male.
Okay. In
that regard, what you are saying is not valid or it's not reliable. Hope you agree with that.
Yes, please.
Good.
Thank you.
I'm listening to the answer of the question.
All right. Thank you so much. So, as you are saying that the office seeks to be biased and then there should be an amendment, I think it's a constitution and then it seeks to prioritize women. So, for this, even though the office seeks to prioritize women, but we still give out the chance for men who want to pin down their issues.
If that is what you are saying, then I'm also tempted to say that even if, when you have not had the nod to be at the Wocom of the local Nugs, you are going to act in contravention to the SRC constitution. Is that the impression you are trying to put out?
No, please.
Then I think if there's a constitutional stipulation that says that this is the work of the local Nugs Women's Commission, I don't think your idea or your thought about male inclusiveness counts.
Okay, thank you so much. So for the inclusiveness, I wasn't really talking about we adding the issues of men to the women's wing, but I believe the president can address issues as such. So even though it's channeled through me, I can still channel it to the president and he can address the issue.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Esther.
Yes, please.
You did mention that you are a member of the subcommittee of the local Nugs Women Commission.
Yes, please.
And you've been volunteering for the sanitary bank project.
Yes, please.
How much did you say you are targeting to purchase or, distribute to needy people?
10,000.
Are you sure?
Yes, please.
There is a publication from your women's commissioner who said 1,000.
Okay, thank you so much.
So which is which?
Okay, so I think maybe I was wrong with the figures, so I stand to be corrected. So thank you for the correction.
So how much are you looking at spending on these 1,000 sanitary pads?
Please.
So as a committee, what budgets do you have for that quantum of sanitary pads you want to procure?
Okay, so I would, for the budget, as subcommittee members, we don't really get access to everything, though maybe I didn't get access to it. So I will respectfully say I don't have a fair idea about it.
So should I take it that you have not been involved in that project, but by virtue of the fact that you are a member of the subcommittee, you want to take credit for that project?
All right, thank you so much. So for our service, it's in diverse ways. And then with that, I know we are exposed to what we are supposed to know, and then the help we are supposed to give out. So when the initiative came, we were all abreast.
Esther.
Yes, please.
If you say you are supposed to know what you are supposed to know, does that mean that you don't ask questions?
No, please.
So you are supposed to ask questions?
Yes, please. Thank you.
There's a right to information bill.
Sure.
You know about that?
Yes, please.
Yes, so going forward, I don't want to hear that statement.
All right, thank you so much.
So I'm still on the sanitary bank project. So tentatively, let's say you have a fair idea how much you want to spend. Kindly tell this committee the processes you would go through to make those purchases that would be in line with the university's procurement regulations.
Okay, thank you so much. So I believe that the various items and the number of boxes you want to purchase will be penned down, and then the receipts for these goods will be attached to it, and then we will send it to the treasurer.
Are you done?
Yes, please.
Okay, so that is completely wrong.
Okay, thank you.
The university's procurement process doesn't spell out that way.
Okay. Okay.
So depending on the amount you want to spend on those sanitary banks, certain officers have thresholds. So if you are spending within the limit of 10,000, then it can go through the dean or the dean of students in that regard, okay?
Yes, please.
And then he would have to take that request. And then if it has to be with getting quotations, you take 3 quotations, and then the procurement team would make their evaluations and make recommendation to the dean for approval, all right?
All right.
So essentially that, it doesn't lie within your powers
Okay.
as either treasurer or even you,
Okay.
if you get the nod,
All right.
to go and procure and then attach receipts. No, you don't do that.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Hello, Esther.
Yes, please.
So, radio. Let's start with radio. Radio.
Radio.
Okay. I am a country.
Okay.
Most recently, U.S. troops moved out of me, allowing for a religiously backed government to take over. Not long after the takeover, the Women's Affairs Ministry was shut down. Women who reside in me are not allowed to go to secondary schools and have government jobs. And recently in March, there was a law preventing women to travel without a male chaperone on international flights. Who am I?
Thank you. But I have no idea.
All right, so that's Afghanistan.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, let's come back to Ghana. Okay. Yeah, so women like yourself are doing so well in the Ghanaian space, and there's an award scheme that honors them, and one of them is run by Glitz Africa. That award scheme is the Ghana Woman of the Year, so it's an honors. Which woman was honored as the Ghana Woman of the Year 2022 for the Excellence in Education category?
Please, can you come again?
Okay, so which woman was honored as the Ghana Woman of the Year 2022 in the Excellence in Education category?
Mr. Chair, I'll plead with you. I don't have any idea.
Oh, okay. But this woman is actually very related to us, so I was thinking you would know. She is Prof. Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman.
Okay.
Prof. Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much.
Esther,
yes, ma'am.
When you were advising people on contraceptive,
yes,
I thought you talk about abstinence. What is your view on that?
All right. Thank you so much, Mom. So, for the abstinence, I know it's not everybody that would be able to abstain. So, if the individual will be able to abstain, there is a need for the person to abstain. But we also consider the side of those who are also sexually active.
You talk about abstinence at all?
Yes.
You do talk about that
yes,
as well?
please.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So one final question.
Yeah, please.
Now, there's a very high school dropout rate.
Okay.
Because a lot of young females or adolescents in that time of the month find it difficult to get access to pads, right? And I'm happy that local Nugs is looking at the sanitary bank project.
Sure.
But the first question I have for you is, how sustainable is this project? And why are you not looking at another alternative, which is the use of reusable sanitary towels, which is very common in Europe lately, where people use sanitary towels that are reusable, so that if you have a pack of 5, if you have a pack of 7, you can use it for a couple of months, which is more sustainable, less costly compared to what currently exists. If you look at the amount of money that you're pumping into the sanitary bank project compared to the amount of money that would go into the reusable sanitary towels, which of the two do you think would be sustainable and more efficient, particularly in addressing that challenge when it comes to the monthly period?
Please, thank you so much. And then, as you've all said and noted, that those parts are reusable, I believe that one will be very beneficial to the students, since even though we wouldn't be able to get a chance to even come to them again, but they can be able to make good use of the reusable part. So I believe we also consider that one and also try and work on it. Please, thank you.
But is it something you've thought about?
No, really, but I think I've gotten it from you.
Yes, because I think a lot of you look out for funders to bring in money for your sanitary bank project, which is not sustainable.
Sure.
Because there will be donor fatigue at some point.
Sure.
But then if you look at how the materials that are used for the reusable sanitary towels are procured, we can use our local materials, so the ordinary seamstress by the roadside can produce this for the ordinary person. So in areas where young adults have difficulty in maintaining hygiene and all of that during the time of the month, they can easily have access to this because they'll be readily available. So as the Women's Commissioner, if you go through this, I'd want to see you championing that cause other than the current sanitary bank project, which for me is not sustainable in terms of funding.
All right.
Right.
Please, thank you so much.
All right, so thank you very much for coming. I'm giving you just 10 seconds. Tell UCC whatever you want to tell them.
All right. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And then, first of all, I would want to thank the panel. Before I came here, you gave me this platform to get more knowledge, which I didn't know. And then I believe that as I've been able to come for this meeting, after here we'll be going out, and then I'll urge all my students, as they supported me in this meeting, to continue to support me.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming. You hear from the committee soon.
Right.
Thank you. So we're still vetting local Nugs aspirants for the position of Women's Commissioner. We're live on TV, UCC, on YouTube, and on ATL 100.5. Kindly join us online or follow us on ATL 100.5. We appreciate your comments. Please continue to send your comments in the live chat menu, and we'll read them as well. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Chairman. So I am also taking over to bring to you some of the messages that we have received on our platform. Television AS, Chale, Enyeziu, and the Logicals Mindset Institute, ST for Wocom, Daniel Ajeti. Interesting comments here. Prince Charles and Nkrumah, I don't think critical thinking is only limited to academia. Prince, that is what you think, but critical thinking came from the academicians. Oh, okay. And Rashid Ibrahim, what there? The Logicals Mindset Institute comes in again with ST for Wocom. And Richard Forson, you are happy birthday to Nana K, former news president of University of Cape Coast. And Mel GH, ST all the way. Mills continues to say that ST are fat. Isaac Mensah comes in with not bad. And Leo Chupa, Wadia is the best. And Gifty Kofi, you said ST. The Logicals Mindset Institute, I can see that you are with us. You've been consistent here. Thank you very much. And you are here again to say that look at how eloquent she is. And Richard Forson, my network is down. And Mike here, Kofi Mensah. Hey, Logical. I love how ST is expressing himself. And okay. Let me try to see if I get Isaac Mensah, contraceptives. Ike, what has contraceptive done? This girl is too good. And Male GH. Male GH, ST for UCC Vice Chancellor. Really? And this is from Max Pizza. I'm back, Mr. PDF. God bless you. Okay, welcome back, Max.
Thank you very much, PDF. You're welcome. Kindly take your seat. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Do you want to drink the water now or later?
Later.
Later, okay. So kindly state your name, index number, and program of study for our records.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Grace Anefiminta, a third-year law student and an affiliate of the Student Representative Council Hall.
Index number, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. BL Law 190066.
Okay. So, Grace, tell us why you're here.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for your question. As an altruistic person, young lady, moved by empathy and proactiveness, especially towards the marginalized in the society, which is why I aspire for the office of the local Nugs Women's Commissioner. And I'm here to be vetted. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll do a quick evaluation of your CV, but before I do that, I have your transcript here, and I see for last semester, all your results are not in.
Yes, please, Mr. Chair.
We'll give you up to Monday to work on that.
Yes, please.
Without that, you cannot proceed to the next stage. I believe you know your CGPA as of now.
Yes, please, Mr.
Minus the
Chair.
results.
Yes, please, Mr.
Okay,
Chair.
so we'll give you up to Monday to work on that, without which we cannot proceed to the next stage.
Yes, please.
Is that
Mr.
clear?
Chair. Yes, please, Mr.
All right.
Chair.
Hello, Grace.
Madam.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing too?
I'm very well, thank you. I can see you are relaxed, and that is what we want. So no matter what happens, you have to relax, okay?
Yes, please.
All right. Did you do your CV yourself?
Yes, please, ma'am.
And you took time to go through it?
Yes, please.
Because there are some informations that we don't have. Can you tell us your date of birth, please?
5th March 2001.
Okay. Because we don't have it here. Tell us your personal philosophy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe in God and discipline to be the hallmark of excellence.
What is that supposed to mean?
Okay. So, thank you, Mr. Chair. Personal philosophy is a set of principles an individual believe in. And as a person like me, that is what I believe in God and discipline to be the hallmark to succeed in everything you do.
I think, yes, it's a philosophy, but everybody does believe in God. You understand?
Yes, please.
Or most people believe in God. So I think that you should reword your philosophy.
Yes, please.
For this purpose. That is my opinion. Okay. That is my opinion. You were at West African Secondary School.
Yes, please.
Which year? It's not here. From which year to which year?
I attended Achimota School from 2016 to 2019.
That one is here. And then you attended WAS, West Africa Secondary School.
No, please, ma'am.
Oh, so that's the certificate?
Yes, please, that's the certificate.
Okay. Because I believe that if you are disciplined and you are not hardworking, and you are not tolerant and other things, you still cannot succeed. It takes a lot of things to be an excellent person. And you don't leave all to God. You understand?
Very well, ma'am.
Why do you want to be the Women's Commissioner?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the question. As I said earlier, I am an altruistic person, and especially towards the marginalized in the society. And those are the group of people my affection geared towards. And that is why I aspire for the office of the local Nugs Women's Commissioner.
You are, and who? I didn't get that.
Altruistic person.
What is that?
Selfless.
I see. You could have just said selfless.
Very well, madam.
Because I thought you said you are an autistic, so I kept asking to get, So you are a selfless person. And then, okay. In your experiences, you've written Justice of the Law Faculty. What is that supposed to mean?
Yes,
Justice of the Law Faculty. May 22 till date.
Very well, Mr. Chair. When you come to the law faculty, we have legal advisors that come on board, not only to be serve as a source of legal advisors, but also part of the committee. And we have the judicial board. I am one of the justice of the judicial board when it comes to the law faculty.
Do you know what you are saying? You are a justice of the judicial board.
Yes.
And you put it there in your CV. But you are still studying the law. Why don't you just make this simple for yourself by saying that you're a member of the judicial board?
Very well, Mr. Chair.
I don't know why you students, you always want to arrogate huge titles to yourselves. You are not yet, you haven't even passed the LLB, let alone go to Makola. So you're a member of the judicial board. Yes, you call yourself justices, that is fine, but that is not a legal name to put on your CV. I believe you understand.
Very well, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay. Also, I can see that the years, you have maybe May 2022 till date. I think it should be to date or dash date.
Yes,
so you
please,
correct all of it. It runs through, so you have to work on that. You are a member of the local Nugs Women's Committee.
Yes, please.
Do you know Esther Aqua Benson?
Yes, please.
Can you tell us about her?
Very well, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the question. She is also a member of the local Nugs Women's Commissioner Committee, and she's currently aspiring for the office of the local Nugs Women's Commissioner.
Is that all you know about her?
Very well, ma'am.
That's all?
Yes, please.
You don't interact with her?
No, please.
You don't know whether she's a good person or a bad person?
No, please.
I see. Okay. You don't go for meetings together?
We do go for meetings.
But you don't interact? Because you are going to compete for the same position. You don't talk to her when you go for meetings?
Not at all. I do talk to her.
Yeah, but I saw you've not interacted with her. There's something you've put here, your working experience. What is Grace Foundation?
Very well, Mr. Chairman, thank you. The Grace Foundation is an organization created to help people, and especially people who are in need.
Who created that?
Mercy Nyakwa.
So you are part of, you work for Mercy Nyakwa?
Yes, please.
And then you wrote something here, feeding the streets. What's the meaning of that?
Very well, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the question. No, as a foundation, we went out there to feed the people on the streets and also invited them on the Deba grounds to dash them some basic items as well.
What you meant to say is that you feed people on the street?
Yes, please.
Not feeding the street?
Very well, ma'am.
There are a lot of things you have to correct on your CV. As a receptionist, you claim to be doing, you were recording, you were doing bookkeeping, you were cleaning, you were a waiter, you were a storekeeper, you were organizing programs. How true can this be? Were you the only person working there?
No, please.
How could you have done all these things at a go?
Okay, very well, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the question. I wasn't doing these things at a go, but in a situation whereby one or two workers are absent, I stand in place of them and do their duties for them.
That is not too satisfactory because you are a receptionist. So I was thinking that you would enumerate the roles you were playing as a receptionist. By the way, who is a receptionist?
Very well, Mr. Chairman, thank you for the question. A receptionist is someone who is in charge or who normally welcomes people or run the day in the day in and out of an organization, probably, and these people normally sit in front or they sit, before one enters into a place, they sit in front there to take the person's record, where they are coming from, the reason why they are here, and also see the manager as well.
Tell us what you did at the gender court. The gender court. Well, what was the roles you were playing there?
Thank you very much, Mr.
You were an intern there?
Yes, please.
Okay. What were you doing?
Okay. My experience at the gender court opened me to a lot of things, and this includes the number of things I was doing there, calling cases, and also helping the registrar filing for suits, and also translating languages.
As an intern, were you allowed to do that?
Yes, please.
Which is verifiable?
Yes, please.
What is your thoughts on abstinence from sex before marriage?
Very well, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the question. Now, abstinence is one of the activities I do support a lot. And to be able to be free yourself from any sexually transmitted diseases, and it is the need for us to, it's a need for people to be abstained from sex. And my thought on abstinence is a key role, especially when it comes to sexually transmitted diseases. And that is all what I personally support and preach as well. So abstinence is a good thing, and it's supposed to be promoted as well.
So a student comes to you and tells you that they don't have, or she doesn't have any money on her, and she can't pay her school fees. She has issues at home, but she's met someone in town who has been paying their school fees, and now the person wants her to pay for all the payments he had made on her. What would be your advice to this person?
Mr. Chairman, can you please come again, ma'am? Sorry.
A student comes to you as a women's commissioner, and this student, somebody has been paying for her fees over the years because she comes from a poor background, and now this person is demanding sex. What advice would you give to that student?
Very well, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for the question, madam. So, the first advice I will give to her, not to go into the acts. That would be the first advice I will give it to her. And also, if I have any other opportunities, or I believe there are sponsorships around which she can embark on to be able to provide fees for her fees, and I will do that respectfully for her.
What if the student is already pregnant? What advice? Would you give her a different advice? The student is pregnant and they come to you to confide in you. What advice would you give them? Because they will look up to you as their mother, sort of, their mother figure. So what advice would you give to them?
Very well, ma'am. If she is pregnant, I will still advise her to abstain, or to not to continue the acts she's involved in if she's pregnant, because right now she's pregnant, and we always I have to allow her to probably give birth before any other thing can be decided. But I will still advise her on her decision, and I'll also let her maybe she may have sound reasons why she is in that position. That's all.
You know that we have a counseling session in the university?
Yes, please.
You know the halls also have counselors?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wadia.
All
right. So there were two special guests that were invited during the UCC at 60 UTAG Expert Forum. Who were these people?
Please, can you come again?
I'm saying that there were two special guests that were invited during UCC at 60 UTAG Expert Forum. Who were these people?
Very well, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the question. Can you please educate me on that? It has escaped me a little bit.
Okay. So you mean you want the answer?
Yes, please.
Okay. So it is Honorable Ken Oforiatta, that is Finance Minister, and then Honorable Dr. Yao Osei Educhum.
Very well. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Grace, as a receptionist, I hope you are so much aware that receptionists at hotels are almost usually subjected to some form of sexual harassment.
Not really.
But I hope you are aware that some receptionists sometimes are subjected to some form of sexual harassment.
No, please, I'm not aware.
No problem. Don't worry. You know that in the line of your duty as a local Nugs Women's Commissioner, you'll be working with so many agencies, both internal and external. An agency like the Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Protection. Hope you are aware.
No, please, I'm not aware.
No problem. Do you know of any program that is under the oversight of the Ministry of Gender?
No, please.
Let me give you one.
Yes, please.
The Ghana School Feeding Program.
Okay. Thank you very much.
There are other two. Give me any of them.
Mr. Chair, I have no idea.
All right. It's a livelihood empowerment against poverty. That is the LEAP program. And the Ghana National Household Registry.
Thank you very much.
Grace, if an alleged sexual offender wants to appeal a decision passed against them, which office should they send their petition to?
The office of the registrar.
Within how many days after the decision has been passed or the verdict has been passed?
Within 14 days, 14 working days.
Okay. The office is the office of the Vice Chancellor, and then the number of days is right, within 14 working days.
Very well, sir.
Grace, I want you to give me the appropriate sanctions to these offenses.
Very well, sir.
So you can jot them down. Okay. Respectfully. Noise making, sexual harassment, and academic dishonesty.
Please,
what
academic?
Are the dishonesty?
Okay, for noise making, warning, and sexual harassment, dismissal, and for academic dishonesty to dismissal.
Okay, so my question is the appropriate sanctions. The appropriate sanctions.
Very well. The appropriate sanctions for noise making is warning, and for sexual harassment, the appropriate sanction is dismissal. And
is it just one sanction to each offense?
No, please.
So I want all, please.
Okay, very well. For noise making, warning or dismissal. And for sexual harassment, rustication, warning or withdrawal. And for academic dishonesty, warning and dismissal.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Miss Grace.
Madam.
Okay, so let's say a student comes to your office as the Women's Commissioner that she feels. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please, I can hear you.
So I'm saying that as the Women's Commissioner, a student comes to the office that, and she told you that she feels the grade given to her in the examination was not satisfactory. As the Women's Commissioner, what are the procedures for appeal?
Can you please come again with your question, madam?
I'm saying that a student comes to your office to tell you that she feels the grade given to her in the examination was not satisfactory. Can you hear me?
Yes, please, I can hear you.
I want you to tell me what procedures, as you being the Women's Commissioner, can you do for you to, I'm coming. Explain the procedures for appeal for the student.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. So as a Women's Commissioner, if a student approach me and say he or she has been not been fair in his grace points, I will advise her to see the academic counselor, and from the academic counselor to the head of department, and to write a complaint to the reason why he think he or she hasn't been fair in his grades. Yes, please.
I say the procedure. So what are the steps?
Okay, first of all, I will assist the person to write a written complaint to the head of departments, and the head of department will forward it to the faculty dean, and within 3 working days or within some days, if nothing has been done about it, the student has the right way to the registrar for redress, and that is what I know for now.
The information I have here is very long, so I want you to go and read. I'm saying that the information here is very long, so I want you to go and open your student handbook session. Where is the page?
Very well, thank you, madam.
Madam Grace Wadie.
Sir.
Are you aware that in line with the statute of the university, there are some set of dress codes that has been outlined in the university handbook?
No, please, I'm not aware.
Okay, then I'm telling you that there are a number of dress codes that has been outlined in the student handbook. Can you tell me the formal mode that students are supposed to dress when going for lectures?
Students, in my opinion, students are supposed to dress decently.
What do you mean by decent dressing?
An attire where it wouldn't expose some part of your body, and it's supposed to be presentable as well.
What about occasional wears?
Occasional wears. Sir, please, can you come again? Occasional wears as in?
Occasional wears.
For occasional wears, you are also supposed to present yourself decently to the wherever you are going.
Okay, that is wrong. For occasional gatherings, students are supposed to put on the academic gowns, like graduation and other necessary programs that will be stated. And then again, in line with Chapter 5, Article 27, Clause 2 of the 1992 Constitution as amended in 1996, I want you to justify the reason why there is a provision for paid leave or paid leave for lactating mothers.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for the question. No, the Article 5 talks about the fundamental human rights of people, and fair on the part of these people, leaving them to come to work. That is why there's a provision for that right as well. And we know the Constitution is prospective, and for that matter, there's a need for us to take into consideration that condition at that time.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Assuming a female lady is found guilty of having leaked an examination question, she's brought before you as the Women's Commissioner to pass a verdict. What would that verdict be?
Can you please come again?
A female lady has been found guilty of leaking an examination question. As a Women's Commissioner, she has been brought before you to pass a verdict. What would that verdict of yours be?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the question. First of all, it's not right and it breaks the school rule for that act. So my verdict will be dismissal.
You wouldn't, do anything on her behalf. You wouldn't plead as a fellow female.
Very well, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the question.
What would be your role? Should you be, the Women's Commissioner? What would be your role in making sure that that objective is brought to life?
Very well, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the question. So, as a Women's Commissioner, my role is to create a common platform whereby the issues of students, of females, will be addressed, and also serve as a link between the female student body and the SRC.
Please,
as
you are
well.
supposed to relate it to the objectives you made mention of.
Okay. Very well, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for... Okay. So my role as a Women's Commissioner, according to the objectives, is to, as I said earlier, provide common platform, because I believe when you want a student or even female lady to achieve professionally in terms of development, you have to create a space whereby these people are going to be invited on board to be empowered. So that I will create that platform. And also with the introduction of my SHE policy, I will be able to access these students as well. And with my SHE policy, it specifically has a policy I'm embarking on, that is holistic empowerment, which talks about the whole aspect of everything concerning ladies on campus, and I'm going to empower them as such.
You said you are embarking on, which means you've already started, right?
Yes, please.
So, what's the progress of the policy? How far are you with it?
Okay, so with the progress of the policy, it's still on board, and we are looking forward to execute it as I come into office respectfully or hopefully.
You said you are embarking on it. So what do you mean by
What is the progress? Where have you gotten to?
Okay, very well, Mr. Chairman.
Have you started?
Yes, please. I have started by, so far, this is where I've gotten to taking the views of people, and especially ladies, and how, as when they want us to help them as such.
Yes, so that's exactly what she's asking. She wants to know if you've initiated, where you've gotten to. Okay,
Very
so please
well,
pay
Mr.
attention
Chairman.
to the questions.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Miss Grace. Very well. Since you are a law student, I'm convicted that you have apprised yourself with the local Nugs constitution, national, and out of the SRC constitution, right?
Very well said.
Good. There's a school of thought that says that the work of the local Nugs is quite encumbered, so it should be shifted to the SRC. And there's another school of thought that says that since the local Nugs derives its source of power from the national Nugs, there's no stipulation in Article 20 of the National Nugs Constitution that validates or establishes your office as a local Nugs Women's Commissioner. What's your take on that?
So please, can you come again with your question?
As the chairman rightly said, you have to pay attention to questions.
Yes, please.
I'm saying that there's a school of thought that says that the work of the local Nugs is quite encumbered, so it should be shifted to the SRC. And others are also saying that since the local Nugs derive its power from the national Nugs, and within the constitution of the national Nugs, there's an article that clearly stipulates the establishment of the local Nugs Secretariat. In that article is Article 20. In that constitution, Article 20 does not establish your office as a Women's Commissioner. That is to say, local secretariat must not have a Wocom. What's your take on that?
According to the SRC Constitution, it establishes the office of the Women's Commissioner. And I think there's the need for us to have Women's Commissioner.
I am not trying to dispute the fact that it is business to have a Women's Commissioner. I'm trying to say that people are saying that it should be shifted to the SRC so that we can have SRC Women's Commissioner rather than a local News Commissioner, because the work that you are doing or you are expected to do is quite enormous. So being a local News Women's Commissioner limits your jurisdiction.
Okay.
And others are also saying that since the local news draws its inspiration or draws its powers from the national Nugs, in the constitution of the national Nugs, in Article 20, it establishes how a local secretariat should be run, or the composition of what local secretariat. And out of that composition, it does not establish the office of a Women's Commissioner. So do you think that having it as a local Nugs Women's Commissioner is in contravention with the mother Nugs Constitution, or you think we should push it forward so that it will be part of the SRC, so that we can have SRC Women's Commission?
Very well, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your question. In my opinion, in an institution like this, there is always the need for us to take the opinions of others as well. So in my opinion, a survey can be taken as to whether the SRC or the local Nugs Women's Commissioner should be one or not.
Grace, as a law student, I don't expect this answer from you. A constitution has stated, and in that constitution, there is nothing like local Nugs Women's Commissioner. And you are talking about a survey. Don't you think that the SRC establishing a local Nugs Women's Commission contravenes the constitution that our local body derives its authority from?
Very well, Mr. Chairman. As I said earlier, the SRC Constitution, according to Article 1, gives sovereignty to the people. And in my opinion, I think the view of the people should
Don't you think the SRC contravening the Constitution of Nugs constitutes a breach that can even lead to Nugs terminating the affiliation of UCC to its body? Because they are establishing something that they are not supposed to establish.
Very well, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the question. I will do a lot of research more about this, but for now, sovereignty must always derive from the people.
Thank you very much, Ms. Grace.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ms. Wadie.
Good afternoon, sir.
So, are you aware of this sanitary bank project?
Yes, please, sir.
How have you been involved in it?
Very well, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your question. With the sanitary bank project, as a committee member, I have helped in the public, I would say, seeking for sponsorship as well. And I've also contributed to the publicity of this sanitary bank project.
Okay, so how much are you looking at to supply, distribute to people? How many sanitary pads?
Very well, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. I'm not really updated on the number of sanitary pads we should distribute to people, but as many as we can to.
You don't have a target you are working with?
We do have a target. We do have a target.
Which is how much?
Mr. Chairman, thank you. But to reach out to students, to the number of students as many as we can.
Grace, you're embarking on a project. You're raising funds. So you should have a target in sight that we want to raise funds to procure maybe 2,000 sanitary towels, 5,000 sanitary towels. That's what he's asking. But if you don't have any end in sight, then it becomes difficult, because if you come to me for funding, it will be difficult for me to contribute. So I am sure you'd have done your research. You have an idea, the total population of female students on campus, and then you do your projections and say, okay, if we're able to clock maybe 10,000 sanitary pads into the project, this is how much it's going to cost us. So you go out there to look for funding for that. But if you come to sit here and you say you're part of that committee and you don't have any of this, it's a bit problematic. So pay attention to the question and then answer it.
Very well, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
So let me go to my substantive question. Is there any difference between and single sourcing?
So please, can you come again?
Is there any difference between sole sourcing and single sourcing as a method of procurement, as far as the university's procurement methods are concerned?
Yes, please.
Can you tell us if there is any?
Very well, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your question. When we talk about sole sourcing is where one supplier produces products for a company. And single sourcing is whereby the product is being acquired by a number of suppliers. So there's a difference.
I'm struggling to get the difference. As a method of procurement, so assuming local Nugs want to procure this sanitary pad, and at a meeting to take that decision, gone to just one supplier to procure those 1,000 or 10,000 pieces of sanitary pads, okay, depending on what your target might be. There are so many sellers of sanitary pads across, even in Cape Coast here. But you decided to go to a particular shop and then get it. Is that a single source or a sole source?
That is a sole source.
Why is it not a single source?
It's not a single source because with single source, you have a lot of suppliers. But with sole source, you have one particular supplier who supplies you with the products.
But sanitary pads are being supplied by a number of people in Cape Coast. So if I'm going by your definition of what sole sourcing is and what single sourcing is, then it doesn't serve well, okay? So let me make progress. A method of procurement being a single source can only be undertaken under certain circumstances. Just give me two.
Hey, please, can you come again with your question?
So, single sourcing or sole sourcing, as you may want to call it, as a method of procurement can only be exercised under a number of circumstances stipulated by the Public Procurement Act 2003. And as a law student, I expect you to know this. Those exceptions under which you can use single source as a method of procurement, I just want you to give me two of that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the question. for these exceptions include, that is where if the supplier is the sole distributor of the goods, that can also be an exception. And when there is a need for the supplier to establish a contract, also there can be a single sourcing. Yes.
I would take the first response to be true, but the second, no. The instances could be where there is an emergency that you cannot go through the entire procurement processes that may take longer time. For instance, we wake up one day and then the library block roofing is gone. We cannot say that we want to go through the procurement processes and get a contractor to come and, fix the roof. Students need to assess it. So in emergency situation like this, sole sourcing could be done, okay?
Very well said, thank you.
Another situation where sole sourcing could be activated could be where the product in question is so unique that you cannot have it from any other place other than that supplier, or for quality requirement sake, you would still want to use a particular supplier. So those are the instances, all right?
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
All right, Wadie.
Sir.
I used to mention Wadie. I didn't know it was Wadie. Yes. Let's start with, you read law, so there's this legal case that is now the topic of discussion, especially in relation to women, Roe versus Wade. Could you please educate us a bit on what Roe versus Wade is?
Roe versus Wade. So please, can you educate me on that? I have no idea.
Okay. So in the issue of abortion, in 1973, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled giving women the right to be able to have access to abortion and then restricting states from limiting these rights. That's the legal case Roe versus Wade. Okay, and most recently, that case has been overturned by the Supreme Court. So that's exactly what Roe versus Wade is.
Very well.
I'm quite surprised because it's a legal issue. But all right, then let's look at another one. So the Taliban, do you know of the Taliban?
No, please. I don't know a Taliban. Please educate me on that.
Okay, so if you follow the news in Afghanistan, the Taliban-backed government, that's what we are referring to, that religious group of militants which currently rules over Afghanistan, that is the Taliban. Yeah, so the Taliban have been reported to attack women who have been protesting on the streets recently after they took over from the US-backed government. What exactly are these women fighting for, or what exactly are these women protesting for?
Very, Mr. Chairman, thank you for your question. I believe these women are fighting for their rights.
What rights exactly? So we know. Because if it's about right to life, they do have that right to life. Yeah, so what exactly are they fighting for? Maybe some specifics.
So I'm going to give the mic to my vice, after which I'll come with one final question.
Yes, please, Mr. Chairman.
Grace, I can see you do a lot of things. You crocheting, soap making, other things. And things you also, you draw and paint, and you can create quotes. You are a quotes creator. Based on this morning's happening, can you give us a quote?
Mr. Chairman, thank you for the question, madam. Okay, so creating quote is something, okay.
I didn't say you should tell me about creating quotes. It means that you're able to come out with quotes easily, isn't it?
Not that easily, madam. Not that.
So based on what has happened today, you can't give us a quote.
No, please, not really.
I see. Okay.
Okay, so So my final question. Have you heard about the reusable sanitary towels?
Yes, please.
You know about them?
Yes, please, I know about them.
So what advice have you given to the local in relation to looking at reusable sanitary towels?
Mr. Chairman, thank you for the question. The use of reusable sanitary pads hasn't been considered. Yes, it hasn't been considered, and we are still
Why so?
looking for
You
it.
know about it, and you know
Yes,
that
please.
it is cost effective. We can produce that locally. So on every corner of the street where we have seamsters and tailors, they can help in producing this, so it will become readily accessible to everybody. So even the very last. So why haven't you considered that?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. But according to my personal research, the use of the disposable sanitary
Importing them, and more importantly, how these imports affect what do you call it, inflation and currency and all of that. Don't you think it would have been, you knowing about it would have been a very good opportunity to leave that legacy as a member of the committee?
Yes, please, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. That's a very perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect, and we will take that into consideration, especially in my tenure.
That is, if you go through this.
And for unlawful abortion, it is not acceptable.
You're speaking grammar. I want to hear the legal term, the legal interpretation, the legal position on that. You want to be the women's commissioner. Let's say you have a female student who says that she's been raped by someone, she's pregnant, she doesn't want to keep it. And so she needs that fetus aborted. Would that be a lawful abortion or an unlawful abortion? If it is either of them, what is the position of the law on that?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for your question. In this scenario, it is
10 seconds.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So, as a local Nugs Women's Commissioner, it is my vision is to create a common platform whereby issues are going to be addressed systematically and also empower women fronts on campus. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So thank you very much for coming. You hear from the committee soon. So we're still live on TV UCC, on the YouTube and on ATL 100.5. We're still vetting aspirants for the women's commissioner position for the local Nugs. This is the third day and the first session. We have one more candidate, and then we'll bring this morning's session to a close. Thank you very much. We hand over to the MC to take over.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, the chair. Now, you know, whenever I come to you on your screen, I come with a message, and these are the messages that we have received on our platform. This one is from Frank Boachi Yadom. Steve Force, wow, but Lizzie will murder her. Simple cry, I tell you. Mary Mensah, Esther Aqua Benson, all the way, and Lil Chupa. Wadia will go on the post. Kweku Tony, it is so bad that UCC students don't work.
After an hour for the afternoon session where we would interact with. Thank you, and I hand over to the MP.
Thank you very much, the chair. And so, as the chairman has already indicated, the vetting committee is on break at the moment. And of course, I would also go on break. But before we do that, I am going to read some few messages that I have selected on our platform. And of course, stay with us. Along the line, I would be engaging some of the audience in the auditorium. And so you must, I think you have to stay with us so that you fund me. Inappropriate washing and drying of these reusable towels can result in other health complications. And this is my opinion, by the way, okay? And Ophelia Amisa Deborah comes in with this one. Fund me, exactly, that is true. People usually don't wash these reusable sanitary towels well, and that is where the education comes in, because it would be a very sustainable program when the reusable towels come into play. On the comments made by FundMe, very true. Before you give someone a reusable sanitary towel, you must educate the person on how to use it and keep it clean. I think the women commissioner's take is on point. Keneben Ogwa did well under Lizzie as vice president, and local news will do better under Lizzie as Wocom. Tried and tested. And Lawrence Yao, my brother, you reacted to what Keneben said. You are correct. Self-confidence is the key, and that came in from Norbert. And Papa Kojo comes in with this one. Flood the comment section with the achievements. Asabia Beatrice, please, my humble question, what is the university doing about the poor CV writing skills of students? This is not the first time the panels are complaining about this problem. Something must be done. And Olivia Quatma comes in to respond to that. They have been organizing such programs, but students don't come for these summits, okay? And Kwekutoni, I often don't like to judge people